Okay, our lesson for today is elimination of arbitrary constants. So, ang main objective nito is to obtain the differential equations from a given function or a given family of curves. When we say family of curves, these are curves or equations that contains arbitrary constants. Ang aim natin is to eliminate that arbitrary constants through differentiation. So we all know naman that the derivative of constant is zero. So therefore, mai-eliminate natin ang constants. So there is one rule na nasusundin natin in finding the differential equation or finding the associated differential equation. So the number of arbitrary constants determines the number of times the function must be differentiated. So ibig sabihin, pag nakakita ka ng arbitrary constants na apat, ibig sabihin, apat na beses ka rin magdi-differentiate. So let us try to solve these problems taken from the book Engineering Differential Equations by Engineer Bravo, Cruz, and Gomez ng RTU. So illustrate natin siya isa-isa. So let us solve number 1. So given that 5x cubed minus xy squared plus 3y is equal to c. So I have there two solutions. So ikaw na lang ang bahalang mag-choose kung saan ka mas comfortable. So for solution number 1, alam natin, so lagi nating babalikan kung ano yung rule. Ang sabi sa rule, ang bilang ng arbitrary constants ang magdidetermine kung ilang beses kang magdi-differentiate. So sa ating given, meron lang tayong nag-iisang arbitrary constant which is c. So nag-iisa siya. So ibig sabihin, isang beses lang tayo magdi-differentiate. Ang solution number 1, ang magiging independent variable natin ay x. Ang magiging independent variable natin sa solution 2 ay y. So, yun lang ang difference ng dalawa. So, let us try to take the first derivative of this function. So, ang gagamitin lang natin dito ay yung power formula. So, using power formula with respect to x, that is 5 times that 3 is 15x squared minus the quantity, kasi this must be a product of x and y squared. So, gagamit tayo ng udv plus vdu. So, gagamit tayo ng derivative of a product. So, udv plus vdu. So, that gives you derivative of xy squared is x times the derivative of y squared with respect to x is 2y prime. We know that y prime is derivative of y with respect to x. Plus, yung second factor, which is y squared, multiplied by the derivative of x is 1. So that's why y squared na lang yung second term. And the derivative of 3y is 3y prime. And that must be equal to the derivative of a constant is 0. So, now, from there, nakita mo na kaagad na na-eliminate na yung arbitrary constants. So, actually, pwede na itong maging sagot. So, isi-simplify na lang natin. So, 15x squared minus, so, i-distribute na natin yung negative sign dito sa each of the term inside this bracket. So, magiging negative 2xy prime minus y squared plus 3y prime is equal to 0. So, again, as per mentioned kanina, pwede na ito ang ating maging sagot dahil nakuha na natin ang differential equation na hinahanap dahil itong equation na to, unang-una, nagko-contain na ng derivative at na-eliminate na ang arbitrary constant c. So, let us try to simplify this further lang. So, lahat ng mga may y prime, iiwan lang natin sa left side at lahat ng mga wala, itatranspose natin sa right side of the equation. So if this is negative y squared transposed to the right becomes positive, and this 15x squared transposed to the right becomes negative 15x squared. Tapos yung dalawang natira, may y prime dito, may y prime doon, so I can factor out y prime. And then, ang magiging resulting na nasa inside the parenthesis must be 3 minus 2xy, quantity y prime is equal to y squared minus 15x squared. So by dividing both sides by 3 minus 2xy, yung coefficient ni y prime, so you can solve for y prime be equal to y squared minus 15x squared over 3 minus 2xy. So remember, yung y prime is derivative of y with respect to x. So kitang-kita na yung equation na nakuha natin contains derivative. So next, so solution number 2, ang gagawin natin as per mentioned is with respect to y. So ang independent variable natin ngayon ay y. So let us try to solve. So taking the derivative of 5x cubed with respect to y, so 3 multiplied by 5 is 15x squared multiplied by the derivative of x with respect to y gives you x prime. Minus the quantity, since this is again a derivative of a product, so x times y squared with respect to y is 2y, plus y squared multiplied by the derivative of x with respect to y is x prime, plus derivative of 3y with respect to y is 3. And then it is equal to 0 since the derivative of the constant c is 0. So simplifying, magiging 15x squared x prime minus, again, distribute natin itong negative sign dun sa nasa loob ng parenthesis or ng ating bracket. Negative 2xy minus y squared x prime plus 3 is equal to 0. So again, pwede na itong maging sagot sa ating tanong. Kasi it contains the derivative and the constant c has been eliminated. So simplify lang ulit natin by combining terms na merong x prime at yung mga wala, ililipat ulit natin sa right side of the equation. So this negative 2xy when transposed to the right becomes positive. This positive 3 transposed to the right becomes negative 3. Then if factor out lang natin yung x prime, so may nasa labas na yung x prime, matitira sa loob, 15x squared minus y squared. Then divide both sides by the coefficient of x prime to solve for x prime. So that gives you 2xy minus 3 over 15x squared minus 1. So pag multiply natin ito, both numerator and denominator by negative 1, so makikita nating sagot ay 3 minus 2xy over y squared minus 15x squared. So again, notice that, or alam naman natin na ang x prime is derivative of x with respect to y. So to check kung tama ka, so take the reciprocal. So remember, kung titingnan natin, this is dy dx, this is dx dy, take lang natin yung reciprocal, makikita natin na nag-match yung ating sagot. So that will be our answer for number 1. For number 2. So for number 2, y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. So there are 3 arbitrary constants, a, b, and c. So since tatlo ang arbitrary constants, let us expect na dapat hanggang third derivative tayo. So for y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, i-take natin ang first derivative with respect to x. So derivative ni y is y prime. Derivative ni ax squared is 2ax using power formula. Derivative ni bx is b. Derivative ni c is 0. Second derivative. Second derivative is equal to 2a since derivative ni 2ax is simply 2a and derivative of b is 0 since it is a constant. Then for third derivative, yun yung last natin, that is simply 0. So therefore, our answer for number 2, the associated differential equation to the family of parabola given y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c is simply third derivative of y with respect to x is equal to 0. So this must be our answer. So for number 3, y is equal to c minus ln x over x. So nakakakita tayo ng isa ulit na arbitrary constant, c. So meaning to say, isang beses lang ulit tayong magdi-differentiate. So kung titingnan lang natin the given alone, kung ganyan, kung as is natin siyang i-view, gagamit tayo ng derivative of a quotient. So that is v du minus u dv over v squared. But sabi ko nga noong sa review natin, it's easy kung isi-simplify muna natin bago tayo mag-differentiate. So, simplify muna natin. Using cross multiplication by multiplying both by x, magiging xy is equal to c minus ln of x. And then this ln of x, itatranspose natin sa left side. So it becomes xy plus ln x is equal to c. So since isa ang arbitrary constant, kukunin natin ang first derivative. So this gives you xy primes. Dahil ito ay xy, derivative of a product ulit ang gagamitin natin. So this is xy prime plus y multiplied by the derivative of x is 1 plus ln of x na ang derivative ay 1 over x is equal to, of course, 0 because the derivative of c is 0. So again, pwede na ito ang ating maging answer dahil nakuha na natin ang ating derivative na nagko-contain na ang ating equation ng derivative at nawala na yung arbitrary constant. Pero kung gusto mong i-simplify, i-multiply natin lahat by x para matanggal lang yung denominator. So if you multiply this all by x, i-distribute natin yung x in each of the terms na nasa loob. So magiging x squared y prime plus xy plus 1 is equal to 0. So this ang ating magiging sagot. For number 4, so we have y is equal to c1 e to the minus 2x plus c2 e to the minus 2x. So again, meron tayong dalawang arbitrary constants. So as per rule, dahil dalawa ang arbitrary constants, dalawang beses tayong magdi-differentiate. So we have to take up to second derivative lamang. So let us try. So let this be the original equation, be equation 1. So for y prime, so kailangan natin kunin ang first derivative. So c1 is a constant, hindi kasama. So i-multiply lang natin siya sa derivative ng e to the u. Ano ba ang derivative ng e to the u? The derivative of e to the u is e to the u derivative of u. So ang u natin dito is negative 2x. So ang derivative niya ay simply negative 2. So that's why ang derivative ng c1 e to the minus 2x is e to the minus 2x times negative 2. Multiplied by c1 gives negative 2c1 e to the negative 2x. Plus c2, derivative of e to the negative x. Anong derivative ng e to the negative x? It is e to the negative x times negative 1 because the derivative of negative x is negative 1 being multiplied by positive c2 is negative c2 e to the negative x. And that will serve as our equation 2. Then, you have your first derivative, then kunin naman natin ang second derivative. Again, ang derivative ng e to the negative 2x is e to the negative 2x times negative 2 na imumultiply natin sa constant na negative 2c1, kaya magiging positive 4c1 e to the minus 2x. Then, yung negative c2, imumultiply natin sa derivative ng e to the negative x, which is e to the negative x times negative 1. Kaya yung negative 1, i-multiply natin sa negative c2 becomes positive c2 e to the negative x. And that will be our equation 3. From our previous examples, nakita natin na kapag katapos natin kunin yung required derivative, nawala na agad yung arbitrary constants na hinahanap na kailangan nating magawa. But dito, kung makikita mo, second derivative na, nandun pa rin ang C1 at saka C2. So remember, ang ating topic is elimination of arbitrary constants to obtain the differential equation. So ibig sabihin, kung hindi natanggal ang arbitrary constants, we have to make a way to eliminate those variables or to eliminate those arbitrary constants. So now, gagamit tayo, kung babalikan lang natin yung naging lesson natin nung high school sa systems of linear equations using elimination method. So, first, i-combine muna natin yung equations 1 and 2. So, kunin natin si equation 1, which is y c1 e to the minus 2x plus c2 e to the minus x. And for equation 2, y prime is equal to negative 2c1 e to the minus x minus c2 e to the minus x. So, ang aim natin is to eliminate one arbitrary constants. So, kung titingnan natin itong c2 e to the minus x, negative c2 e to the minus x, napakadaling i-eliminate. All we need to do is to add. So if we try to add, this c2 e to the minus x cancels out with negative c2 e to the minus x. Adding the two equations gives y prime plus y is equal to c1 minus 2c1 is negative c1 e to the negative 2x. Let this be equation 4. Let us now combine equations 2 and 3. So combining the two, so this is your equation 2. This is your equation 3. Again, eliminating c2, this is negative c2 e to the negative x. This is positive c2 e to the minus x. All I need to do is to add the two equations. So, adding the two equations, cancel ulit ito. Y double prime plus y prime, that's your terms on the left side. And then negative 2c1 e to the minus 2x plus 4c1 e to the minus 2x is positive 2c1 e to the minus 2x. And that will be our equation 5. Finally, ang gagawin naman natin is to eliminate c1. So how are we going to eliminate c1? Ipagko-combine natin yung equations 4 and 5. But look first dun sa equation 5. Sa equation 5, may numerical coefficient na 2c1 at yung ina naman ay negative c1. Para matanggal yon, kailangan kong mag-multiply ng 2 dito and then i-add ulit natin siya. So let us try to multiply 2. So multiplying 2, 2 times y prime is 2y prime. 2 times y is 2y is equal to 2 times negative c1 is negative 2c1 e to the minus 2x. So this is our new equation 4. Combining it with equation 5, so wala naman tayong ginawa ka equation 5, so as is lang siya, let us try to copy equation 5. And then combine it with equation 4. So adding the two equations, this cancels out, giving you y double prime 2y prime plus y prime here is 3y prime plus 2y is equal to 0. So as you can see, nawala na lahat ng arbitrary constants, tapos ang equation natin nagko-contain ng derivative. This is a second order differential equation. So meron na tayong answer. So there's an alternate solution using determinants. So babalikan lang natin yung kaninang equations na nagawa natin. So equations 1 to 3. So eto lang din yun. So ang gagawin lang natin 0 ang nasa left side of the equation. So and therefore, itatranspose lang natin siya on the right. So lahat ng positive y prime, positive y double prime, transpose sa kabila becomes negative y prime, negative y double prime, and lahat ng nasa left side of the equation magiging 0. So using determinants, ang gagawin lang natin, since naka-equate siya sa 0, kukunin ko lang lahat ng mga may kinalaman kay y. So that will be the laman of my first column. Lahat ng nagko-contain ng y prime, or y double prime. So sa second column, ang kukunin ko ay numerical coefficients ng c1 e to the negative 2x. Kukunin ko ang lahat ng numerical coefficients ng c1 e to the minus 2x. So kaya, ang makukuha ko dito ay positive 1, negative 2, positive 4. So yun yung magiging second column natin. Positive 1, negative 2, positive 4. Then yung ating third column, be the numerical coefficients of C2 e to the minus x. C2 e to the minus x. So ang makukuha natin ay positive 1, negative 1, and positive 1. So 1, negative 1, positive 1. Sa pagkuha ng determinants, ang gagawin lang natin ay ikakopy natin yung first two columns. So copy natin yung first two columns. So magkakaroon ka doon ng negative y prime, negative y double prime, 1, negative 2, positive 4. Then, sa pagkuha ng determinants, that is equal to summation ng product ng downs, lahat ng terms or ng factors na na-touch nung arrow down, minus summation naman ng product ng ups. So, summation tayo ng product ng downs minus summation ng product ng ups. So, 0 is equal to, let us try to multiply all the numbers or yung variables na narito sa first arrow blue. Negative y, negative 2, 1. So, negative y times negative 2 is positive 2y times 1 is positive 2y. Next is 1, negative y double prime is positive y double prime. Kaya meron tayong positive y double prime. Last arrow na blue is 1, negative y prime, positive 4 is negative 4y prime. So you took the summation of the product of the downs. Minus summation naman ng product ng ups, kaya naka-enclose yan sa parenthesis. So product ng ups, negative y double prime times negative 2 times positive 1 is positive 2y double prime. Ito yon. Next is 4, negative 1, negative y. That's positive 4y. And then 1, negative y prime, positive 1 is negative y prime. So all I need to do is to distribute this negative dun sa nasa loob ng parenthesis. Then 0 is equal to 2y plus y double prime minus 4y prime minus 2y double prime minus 4y plus y prime. So ang gagawin natin dito is to combine, of course, like terms. Y double minus 2y double is negative y double prime. Negative 4y prime plus y prime is negative 3y prime. Positive 2y minus 4y is negative 2y. So, ang gagawin lang natin, i-data-transpose lang natin siya lahat sa left side of the equation, magiging y double prime plus 3y prime plus 2y is equal to 0. Or, second derivative of y with respect to x plus 3 first derivative of y with respect to x plus 2y is equal to 0. So, the same lang naman ang makukuha natin. So, kung saan ka mas madadalian, doon ka ayun ang gamitin mong process of solution. So, let's proceed with the last item. So, I have here y is equal to c1 sine 3t plus c2 cosine 3t. So, kukunin natin ang dalawang derivative dahil meron tayong dalawang arbitrary constants. So, given that y is equal to c1 sine 3t plus c2 cosine 3t. So, take the first derivative. Ang derivative ng sine ay cosine 3t times the derivative of 3t is 3. So, that's why it's 3c1 cosine 3t. Derivative ni cosine is negative sine 3t multiplied by the derivative of 3t is 3. So, that's why it's negative 3c2 sine 3t. So that's your first derivative. Second derivative. Derivative ng cosine is negative sine 3t times the derivative of 3t is 3 times 3 there is negative 9c1 sine 3t. Derivative of sine 3t is positive cosine 3t times the derivative of 3t is 3 times negative 3 there is negative 9c2 cosine 3t. So if you try to simplify this negative 9c1 sine 3t, negative 9c2 cosine 3t, notice that negative 9 is common to both terms. So factoring that out gives negative 9c1 sine 3t plus c2 cosine 3t. But as you can see, this C1 sine 3t plus C2 cosine 3t is actually your given. So I can replace this entire factor by y, since that is equal to y. So giving you y double prime is equal to negative y prime. Y double prime plus 9y is equal to 0 by transposing this negative 9y on the left side of the equation. Or second derivative of y with respect to x plus 9y is equal to 0. So there should be a 2 there. So sorry for that.